Let's go into further depth and give the pros and cons to why insurance technically can be considered a scam and is in some cases, and the cons to where it's just absolutely necessary. The first piece we got to understand is, why do people say insurance is a scam? Why do most people think that they're wasting their money? It's because there's delayed gratification and sometimes never gratification. My common scenario for people is, I hope you hate insurance when you're 80 years old because you never used it. That meant that you didn't have to go through the headache of filing a claim, getting your house fixed, getting your car fixed, waiting 45 days because the parts were delayed and they ended up screwing up something on your car and you brought it back 3 times and you're fighting with the insurance to pay the claim because they already closed the claim. And there's all of these headaches that people absolutely hate about certain companies. That's why this channel was built, was to help you decide which companies are worth working with. But in general, what is the point of having all that if it's just a headache? The second piece is, most insurance companies are profit driven. They're not a shared policy to where you get money back because of money you've paid in. There are companies that do a mutual type of insurance to where any profit after all the CEOs are paid, after everything's done and said and all of those things, that you get a check back if there's money left over. There's usually not, because honestly, they spend the money on marketing. It's really a for-profit in the majority of insurance carriers. And there's a lot of money being passed around. When there's billions of dollars in profit being made by these major corporations, then it's hard to say, like, what am I paying this much for? I'm struggling. You're living a great life. Why am I doing this much if I'm not having these claims? Why am I paying this much? The third is the denial of claims. And when you see the policies, and this is where working with the right type of agent makes all the difference. If you don't trust who you're working with, you don't even want to do it. Trust me, going on your own, for those that know what you're doing, great, go do it. But going to a .com and doing an insurance quote, you're going to find cheap. That's what they push out there. And when you don't have the right coverage, you can't play in that, what we call a gray area. And that gray area is where it might or might not be covered. You're always going to get denied, let alone just to see what you do. But in most cases, you might not even be covered in general. I mean, shoot, look at every billboard you pass. That's why there's lawyers everywhere that say, we'll sue for this, liability suits, motorcycle claims. If you call this company, then we'll fight for your behalf, the top dog, and all of these pieces that our lawyers are going to be on your behalf, because there's so much money in suing insurance carriers, which again creates a higher cost for you because it's just built into what you pay at the end of the process, which is the fifth, I don't know, where the other piece is the rising cost. We've seen over the last 3 years the most increases that we've ever seen, and we might be looking at more due to the tariffs. If those happen and affect insurance like people are talking about, I'll make a video when it actually gets close to that. I don't like to just throw fluff out there, but if that does happen, we might see another 15 to 20% increase when we've already seen a 40 to 60% increase in the last 3 years. It's getting unaffordable to where insurance isn't a scam in this aspect. It's just not something a lot of Americans can pay for. The number one reason people think that insurance is a scam is because it's mandatory. Almost every state, there's I think 2 states that don't require it, but you have to have a bond and $50,000 in the bank or whatever they want for you to not have to carry it. So you have to technically self-insure yourself. It's weird. Most states require that you carry it. Mostly on car insurance. Home insurance, once it's paid off and you don't have a loan on it, the loan companies require you to carry the home insurance. But the car insurance is being required because there's too many people that choose not to have it. There's too many people that get in claims and don't have the money to repair someone or make that person whole. So the government's essentially stepped in and said, no more. It's always mandatory. It's been mandatory ever since I've been alive, but it clearly has changed from some point of just being a piece to now being everyone's suing, all of those things. And for those that are really good drivers, you kind of scratch your head and be like, why do I have to pay for this when I just want to go to work? So let's take a step back and understand what car insurance actually does for you. The main piece that people don't realize is the official term is insurance makes you whole to the best of its ability. If you're injured, you lose your leg, you're never going to have your leg back. You're going to be the best quality of life you can get to make you back the way you were. So paying a couple $100s a month if you get in a car accident and it's a $300,000-$400,000 claim can help you from that few thousand that you spent to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in cost. You go from having a bad year or a bad few years to having a bad life if you don't have the right coverage. And that was the second piece, is you could literally go bankrupt from not having the right policy in place. When you don't have the right insurance and everyone's fighting for the best deal, I got to get the cheapest, you can't. Insurance agents will let you. We will let you. If you have the options, it's our job to tell you what our options are. And if you choose the cheaper option and we still say, hey, I would recommend against it, and you still say, I can't afford anything else, then great. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's got to be affordable at the end of the day, where you can survive, you can eat food at the end of the day, you can have a car to go to work. All of those things are going to play a factor. But for those customers that are like, I got a penny pinch and you're multi-million dollars sitting in the bank, you're at risk. If you lose that, you literally could go bankrupt, just like some of these major corporations have in the past, by not having the right insurance in place. I've personally seen it. That was the fourth, was to kind of explain and just be honest with you guys. We have seen claims where houses have burned down. We had one guy on my other channel that actually we interviewed him, and his neighbor's house exploded, something with their gas line or tank, and it took half of his house out. They were under rubble and they almost didn't make it. It was like they could have died if they had slept on a different side of the bed. It was so severe, the entire house was gone. They ended up having to replace the house, replace all of their belongings. Imagine trying to buy your silverware again, trying to buy plates, trying to buy shoes, trying to find your TV, trying to find a couch. There's a list of thousands and tens of thousands of things that you don't realize is part of your home. And all of that takes time. So months and months and months of them rebuilding their home, which was a benefit because they got to rebuild it essentially the design they wanted within the budget. So you're redoing your house, but it could have ended differently. And those things are going to make a big difference when you have the right policy in place. Ultimately, you're going to see every insurance website say this because we understand that you're more so buying the peace of mind. That's where we talked about in the beginning of this video. I would rather have you hate the insurance and not have to use it than have to use it and not have enough of it. Knowing that you have peace of mind when you go to bed, knowing that if we get sued because my daughter was at a party and they bullied someone, even if she's not in the room, they're going to sue the whole household. Everyone's in this lawsuit. I have the peace of mind knowing that we have coverage for those scenarios. Now, when they turn 18 and I kick them out of the door and they can go figure it out themselves, I might remove that. Although I do say some stupid things sometimes. So there's a good chance that I might need it anyways for something I do. But in general, having that peace of mind lets me know that I don't have to worry about it. Does it cost me $30, $40 a month to have that? Yes. Is it in our budget? It's tight. Don't get me wrong. I could use the $40 for a lot more. Having 3 kids, a wife and a mother-in-law and family and all those going out to lunch is almost impossible. It's a $100 bill just for one meal. And having that ability to tighten up what we do to protect ourselves is worth it now, in my opinion, to have that peace of mind than it is in the future if something like that did happen to happen. Think of it this way. If you purchase a home security and you don't use it and no one ever breaks into your home, are you going to feel frustrated that you paid all these monthly fees? Or if you have a Ring doorbell and you're paying that $5, $6 a month and never having to use it, you're paying for a peace of mind essentially for that same scenario. Or all insurance companies are evil. That's can be true for some insurance companies. There are some out there that are just 100% profit focused. They don't care about the customer. They have no focus. That's where the consumer reports and the AM Best ratings and the JD Powers and all of those companies have a business because they are able to rank companies based on customer satisfaction. And when you can rank that, we can determine which are going to be the better fits. If you're looking for cheap and you just want that scammy company that you know they only care about price, but you just want the cheapest piece of paper because you're not going to have a claim, great, that's an option. If you want the company that's protecting you correctly, that's another option. So you have those different choices. It's one of the reasons this YouTube channel is here is you can subscribe. If you want to learn more about those, we're going to cover those pieces. We have in the past, and we will continue to do reviews on companies in the future. There's nothing wrong with a cheap price if you get the coverage that you're looking for. To be honest with you, the real scam isn't necessarily insurance for, I'll say 75% of the companies. The real scam is the bullying. It's technically illegal, but it happens all the time. I grew up in this industry and that's how it always has been. Getting you to purchase a policy, we know that if you think about it for 4 or 5 days, you're not going to do it. The mindset sets in and it just becomes too busy with other things and you're like, nah, not worth it. So your insurance agents are salespeople that are geared to get you to purchase today. We're a little bit different, our agency. Honestly, if you don't need it, want it, or like it, then we don't need to work with you. If we're not a benefit to you, we just have that rule that if you don't make the decision on your own and take the time you need, then we don't need to insure you. We just move on to the next person and work that way. But most companies don't operate that way. Most of them are purchase now, one call closed. Those are still, even in our world, popular. We love one call closes because it just shows that we have the talent and we were able to explain it to someone and they understood it, right? They get it, want it, and they need it. Then we were the benefit. And if we can do that on one phone call, saves time, everybody's moving forward. Now, the other companies like your call centers, they're just geared to why not pay now? If you don't get this rate, it's going to be gone tomorrow, which technically is true. They can't hold a rate for past a day. And they're just quotes, so they actually could change anyways. All of these pieces try to put fear in the mind of people to purchase. That's honestly the biggest scam in my opinion. And that's where every company that I know, at least the majority of them, focus on. They buy leads, they call 100 times, they focus on that, they're texting 100 times, pretty soon there's gonna be AI dialing out for you and you're gonna get AI phone calls, and all of those pieces are just gonna be more cumbersome to purchase to where you don't even wanna deal with insurance in the first place. So how do you not get ripped off in insurance? There's a couple things you should know. One, if you are shopping and you're looking for a legitimate insurance agent, I've found several agents that I work with that I put in the description below. There's a way you can fill out a quote. Half the time it goes to our company. Other times it goes to other agents across the US if we're not licensed in those states. So if you are looking for an agent to work with, that's down there as well. If you are looking to understand more about the coverages that you need, that's probably where I would start. Your Car Insurance 101 is going to go a lot more in depth. If you're just trying to save some extra money, even if you're just doing it yourself, the discounts video here is going to be very helpful. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you in the next one.